my name is Tina and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I am a lifestyle and branding photographer based out of Atlanta, Georgia. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the ultimate foundation of photography, and that is composition. Like I just mentioned, the foundation of photography is composition. So just think about a building. You can't really have a building without a firm foundation, right? So let's say you're brand new to photography and you just want to be able to create stunning imagery, regardless of whatever gear you have. Composition is where you need to go to accomplish this, right? And if you're somebody who is a photographer extraordinaire, you've been doing it for the longest time, but maybe you are losing inspiration, maybe you need a little fine tuning, a little touch up, composition is where you need to go to really create some gorgeous imagery. So without further ado, let's break down some of my favorite composition types. Okay, so I know I mentioned that composition is the foundation of good photos, but what really is it? Well, composition is how you choose as a photographer to arrange the things in your image, in the frame, right? So what you're looking at right now, I chose to place myself a little bit to the side. I got my sunflowers behind me, and then over here is empty space because maybe I want to put some text here, right? So when you're doing photography and you're taking photos, being able to be mindful of what's actually in the frame is what composition is all about. So it's not just snap, done, the photo was taken. You really have to think about what image are you trying to create, right? Photography is not just about snapping the photo and you're gonna get a great image. There really is a lot that goes into taking pictures, and not just taking pictures, but taking fire pictures, okay? So now that we covered that, let's get into some of my favorite composition types. Let's go. Okay, so one of my very, very favorite composition types is to get close. So a lot of people, when they get started in photography, and even if they've been in it for a while and need to kind of zhuzh up, like we mentioned before, is the idea of getting close. Now, regardless of what gear you have, you may have a lot of zoom lenses, you might use prime lenses, or you might be shooting on an iPhone. Regardless, being able to get closer to your subject will make such a difference in your photography. So sometimes it gets easy to just kind of hold your camera up, your gear up, and just be like, well, I got this shot. Okay, that's cool. But if you get very, very close, you're able to capture more detail. You're able to kind of take your viewer on a cool, more eclectic vibe and journey with the photo. So next time you take pictures, don't just take the shot and call it a day, okay? Take the shot, get closer, then get closer again, because you really will be able to bring out drama, you'll be able to bring out really unique imagery that maybe you would not have gotten before if you didn't truly get in close. So next time you take a photo, don't put that camera up just yet, get in tight. And listen, you might be saying, well, Tina, I can just crop the image later and get some cool stuff out of that. No, false, you cannot. There is a reason why getting in close and getting in closer is a composition foundation in photography. The reason for that is it's intentional. Your eye will see something totally different whether you're further away or super close. The same goes for your camera lens, whether it's iPhone or DSLR. Get in close and get intentional with your photography. Cropping is lazy, there's a place for that, but I promise you, when you are intentional, you move your body, you get in close with the lens, oh my goodness. Mwah! Delicious photography, beautiful. So now that we've talked about those, let's now talk about the rule of thirds. I'm sure many of you have heard about this, but it is so powerful and so helpful. If you can start training your eye as a photographer to see everything in your frame in the rule of thirds. Now, the rule of thirds is basically when the frame is divided into three sections, whether that be horizontally or vertically. So when you are taking a photo, be mindful of where your subject is going to land in the rule of third method. Currently, I am off to the side, so I am not directly in the center of the rule of thirds in the frame. I'm more off to the right, well, your left. And then if I was on the other side, it would be the other side. So when you are a photographer, you can really create amazing imagery when you are a little bit more offish with your subject within the rule of thirds. You can also put them smack dab in the center. There's no really rules to this, honey. At the end of the day, you are the creator, you are the artist. But when you can really get creative and start to think about where is my subject in the frame in regard to the rule of thirds, you will start to create very intentional, cool photos. For my next favorite composition rule is make every inch count of your frame. So let's say you see an extremely busy street with tall buildings everywhere, cars going crazy. If you're gonna take a photo of that, make every inch count, fill it up. Let it be busy, let it be crazy. Really give your viewer an experience of chaos or crazy. So there's a place for this, and it can be very, very cool and compelling for the viewer. So next time you're out and about, if you see a lot going on, go ahead and fill the frame with all of that craziness, because at the end of the day, it will create a very, very cool experience of chaos, but it'll be beautiful for your viewer. Okay, so I know I said in the last one, fill the frame, let it be chaos, just put everything in there and let it be intentional. Don't waste an inch. Well, in this next composition type, I'm gonna talk about minimalism, okay? Clean it out. So you could kind of argue that how I've set up this video frame is a little bit more minimal. Yes, I'm sitting here and I have my flowers here, but all of this space is empty. So if you want to take a photo and you're like, Tina, I am not somebody who wants to create a lot in a photo. I like clean, clean, clean. This rule of composition is for you. So next time you're taking a photo, let's say it's a flat lay and you just want it to be a white background with like your laptop or a picture of a flower on a blank slate, that is clearing it out. That's minimalism, and there is a place for it, and it is art. So at the end of the day, it's really what you want to do and what works for you as the photographer. Another great rule of composition to be mindful of is leading lines. So let's say you're out in the city taking photos, all the buildings have lines, maybe the roads have lines. Be mindful of where those lines are and place your subject somewhere in that frame. And even if your subject isn't a person, maybe it's a car, be mindful of where those lines lead. Make sure those lines lead back to the subject in the frame. They could even be stairs, I mean, whatever. Leading lines create dimension, but they also create structure for the viewer, and they lead you on a journey in the photo. So be mindful of those lines. And now that we've covered all that, this is my last composition tip for you as the photographer. It's to ignore everything I just said. Yes, you heard me right. I know it sounds silly, but at the end of the day, you are a photographer, you are an artist, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So if you're somebody who maybe you took a photo and it's really eclectic, it's really different, maybe you were outside of the box, great. There's room for you. We can learn from you. And if you're somebody who wants to stay inside the box, really go by the rule book, that's awesome. There's a place for you as well. That is what's so wonderful about being an artist and about photography. So if you're somebody who needs inspiration, go ahead, review composition guidelines, review that foundation, and I promise you, when it comes time to get creative, you will shine. I can't wait to see your photos. So if this video helped you and you're a photographer, new to photography, have been in photography for a long time, I would love to hear from you. So leave me a comment below. Which one is your favorite composition guideline? I'd love to hear it. And if you're a photographer, please give me a follow. I would love to connect with you. Thanks for watching, guys.